Your geeky girlfriend back again, friends, family, and followers, to review Sarah Dessen's Dreamland. Continuing on with my Sarah Dessen review haul, I'm going to try and review all of the books that I have of hers in my possession and some of the ones that I don't have. Those videos will have to come later, as I'll have to get some pictures of the covers and stuff to show you guys what they look like. And one of those would be my all-time favorite book that she's ever written. So I'm going to try and get my hands on those physical copies so I can show them and show you guys the art. And if not, look, just those videos will have to come later. So this is another one of the paperback ones that I picked up. I got this one at Books A Million, I'm pretty sure. This was like $5 or $6. It wasn't as expensive as the hardback, so I just picked it up because I hadn't read it. This one is by far her most adult-oriented novel. The concepts and the depth that she goes into in this novel are definitely more geared towards people my age in their 20s and adults. This one has very explicit references to drugs and abuse, not physical, but emotional or mental in a relationship, and how devastating that can be. The back actually gives you it alludes to that. Love can be a very dangerous thing. What happens when what happens when being with somebody is more dangerous than being alone. And so it's a very deep concept. And I remember reading it. I was probably 17 or 18 when I read this book. And I remembered not fully being able to grasp the gravity of that. But now if I were to read it again, I know that I would have a much deeper appreciation for this one. This is definitely her most adult. It is on the shorter side. And once you get into it, it goes pretty quick because you just want the problems to be resolved. The main character in this one, I it's been a long time since I've read this one. It's been almost 10 years, so I'm trying to remember. Oh, the sister's name is Cass, which I just found, but the main character's name is Caitlin, spelled with a C, and she meets Rogerson. And Rogerson is the very deep, emotional character, and he's the one who kind of sort of gets her into trouble, and she has to get herself out of that trouble. And she has to come to grips with the fact that, like I said, sometimes leaving the situation is the best thing, and she has a hard time doing that. And I think that's why this one is so profound, because it is truly real, like the struggles that people go through who are in those relationships. If you are that person, I am here for you. I want you to know that I will be happy to make a call for you, be a friend, listen to you. But this is a good book to read if you're in that situation. Maybe it would help you come up with an idea of how to get yourself out of that situation. So this one is, although it's not my favorite, I'm going to rate it a little bit higher than some of the other ones. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 simply because of how deep it is. And the back, it was reviewed by People Magazine as a cut above, and that's seriously true. So although this one is not my favorite, I feel like if I were to reread this one, I would have a much deeper appreciation for it. It was so dark and so intense for me at the time when I read it, that when I first read it, I was like, I don't really like this book. It was almost too intense, but now looking back on it, I really, really appreciate what she did in this book. And this one is one that I encourage everyone to read, even though it's not her best, in my opinion, in terms of enjoyable to read. It is her best in depth. And she kind of goes a little bit darker than she does in some of the other ones. So in this book, if I remember, like I said, there are explicit references to drugs, and there's implicit references to sex and sexual activity. This one is, I would say, not as suitable for kids. I read it as a late high schooler, and that's the age that I would recommend. Junior, senior year, maybe 16, kind of thing. So pick this one up. It's a great read, like I said, for somebody who's in that situation and is struggling. This would be a good one to read, and I would recommend that. And I will comment or send me a message if you're feeling like you are in that situation. And I will be happy to call or do anything that you need me to do. Don't ever feel like you have no escape, because you always do. And I know that's hard for me to say, since I fortunately have never been in that situation, but I have had friends who have been, and I've been as helpful as I could be. And that's all that we are trying to do as support. So don't be afraid to ask for help or just reach out to somebody and talk about how you're feeling. Dreamland, Sarah Dessen, 8 out of 10. Her most intense. And like I said, that was the thing that I would say is I didn't like it, is it is intense. It's more intense than her other books. And so to read that as a fan is hard to adjust, but it's a great book, great depth. And again, the little bit of tragedy or grief is in there as well, and how the main character copes with that. So we're adding that one to the review. I hope you guys check it out. Leave your comments for me on what you want me to read and review, and I'll be happy to add some more books to my list and add them to my shelf. And make sure you hit that subscribe so you're always getting my latest reads. I have some books in the works already for 2021, and I'm going to try and review them as I read them. So there'll be constant videos coming into the channel. So make sure you check those out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. XOXO.